Take one.
Yeah. Good job, I did take it. We are on. Good. So, thank you, Jenny. I'm aware you've known sadness and sorrow in your life at different points. Would you mind just, as you feel like be willing to share some of that?
Yeah, I've gone up and gone down. We all have. When I became a Christian when I was 17, if I'd known what was ahead, I would have shrunk in horror. But looking back, I see the goodness of God in all of it. Life has been tough. Those who don't know me can perhaps see I'm in a wheelchair, and that brings its own issues. But earlier in my life, I've struggled with enormous depression. I've struggled with other mental health problems and physical problems. Life has been a roller coaster. And yet, God is in the midst of it. And as I hold on to Him, it's okay.
Now, I know you well enough to know you don't actually like talking about yourself very much.
I don't.
But when you're going through that, how do you kind of keep going, just maintaining, your integrity, not just throwing in the towel, but keeping putting one step in front of the other, keeping going. How do you do that?
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know how I do it. Sometimes it's what I'd call pluggability. You plug on and just think, okay, this needs doing, get on with it. There are times when I land on my nose, and I know we all do, but sometimes a bit literally. It's if I know if I can keep myself right with God and standing tall in Him, then it's manageable, it's doable. And so saying I can do this is far more important than saying, where are you, Lord? I can't do it, it's too big, it's too scary, it's all those things. I get afraid of things, I get down, I get anxious, but He knows me, He made me. He didn't make me to flounder all the time. And so it's how to think, okay, this is who I am in God. I am a blessed child of the King of Kings. And I will walk in that, whether on my feet or in my wheelchair. I will walk it.
Yeah.
And I will endeavour always to keep Him central, because it's the only way to keep integrity.
And how do you, this Psalm 41 that we're going to think about in a bit, has elements of praise and elements of suffering in there, those kind of two dimensions that throughout the Bible come up as expected for Christians. How do you keep those two things, how do you see and experience those two dimensions in your walk with God?
In lots of ways, they're not two dimensions. Because that says you can separate these things, and sometimes you can't. It's saying whatever is going on in life, in my life, I'm going to get through it with Him, and I'm going to live tall in Him. And suffering is hard, but in many ways I've known more years of suffering in my life than I have of straightforward, easy coasting along. And it's okay, because somehow in those down times we find God on a different level than we do when things are a doddle.
Brilliant. Which one more thing then is, okay, so what would you say would be the one biggest help to you in walking that journey?
The Word of God. The presence of His Spirit in the Word of God. That's it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.